5 of the best sleeper options that can win you your fantasy football league. It doesn't matter what the format is. It doesn't matter any of that. The ADP has these guys way too low, and you can capitalize on them to win your league. The first name we have to look at, and this is a big one, we got Jacobi Meyers. You might be thinking to yourself, bro, that guy is actually ass. And you'd be wrong. Looking at his stats in a deep dive, he played 15 games in 2024, averaged 14.5 PPR points per game. 14.5, that's pretty significant. That's better than George Pickens, way better, almost double Rome Odunze. Like, this guy, 14.5 points, that gets the job done. He had a 25% team target share. Now, the downside, his yards per route run has not been good throughout his career. In 2020 with New England, he had a 2.37 yards per route run. In 2022 with New England, he had 2.18. But the last 2 years, he's been at 1.6 and 1.82. Last season, those aren't great numbers. He had Gardner Minshew at quarterback. Geno Smith is coming from Seattle to save the day. And I know a lot of people are acting like, Jack Besh, this guy is the Lord and Savior himself. Guys, he ain't, like, he's good, and he's definitely a sleeper option as well, but we're not talking about him today. He only got round 2 draft capital. So a round 2 draft capital, Jack Besh is their number 2 wide receiver right off the bat. Number 3 wide receiver is Trey Tucker. And then they have a 4th round draft capital wide receiver of Dante Thornton Jr., who he's probably going to be more of a special team role right off the bat, maybe an outside red zone threat. But Jacobi Meyers still has this number 1 wide receiver role on lock, and I don't expect that changing. Now, Jacobi Meyers kind of reminds me a little bit of JSN. Who did Geno Smith just support? JSN. And JSN had a pretty solid season last year with Geno Smith, even with Tyler Lockett competing with snaps and DK Metcalf. Now, JSN, he also had a not-so-good yards per route run, yet he was fantasy relevant. So Jacobi Meyers could be also similar to that situation. Jacobi Meyers, in terms of his ADP. So if I pull up ESPN and I take a look, all right, where's Jacobi Meyers? Well, start scrolling, and that's why Jacobi Meyers is going to be a sleeper. Like, I am currently looking for Jacobi Meyers and here he is. Jacobi Meyers comes in at ADP 96. Now, if you're a member of the Discord, you already know my top 450 rankings. You already have those. We have those out. They're free. It's a free 450-person draft guide. Win your drafts. Now, I had Jacobi Meyers higher than ESPN. I have him at number 90. But the people going around Jacobi Meyers on this ESPN ADP. So you got Jacobi Meyers. You also have Deebo Samuel. This is the same guy that put on weight, battled pneumonia or whatever. Deebo Samuel was a little bit of a sleeper too. You got Cam Scatterbo going 9 picks higher. Tyrone Tracy 9 picks higher. You got Ramondre Stevenson ADP 11 higher. You got Jalen Warren ADP 11 higher. Javonte Williams 11 higher. You got Travis Etienne slightly below. So Jacobi Meyers as a wide receiver 1 at ADP 96 feels like a deep sleeper in terms of that ADP for PPR. So that's definitely something that should be on your radar. Number 2, the next name is going to be a quarterback. A lot of we only have 32 starting quarterbacks in the league. So the fact that we have a sleeper here is good. It bodes well for all of you. Justin Fields comes in as the sleeper option. Why? Just signed a 2-year contract with the New York Jets. He's going to get another shot. Looking at Justin Fields' points per game. 2021, 12 games played, 10.57 points per game. Trash. 2022, he had 19.73 PPR points per game. That is unbelievably good for a quarterback, and that's a number, man, that you want that a lot. Why? Well, how do you get those stats? He had 76.2 rushing yards per game in 2022 with the Bears. Following season, 51 rushing yards per game. His PPR points were then down to 17.7. Still a pretty respectable fantasy number for a quarterback. So the rushing upside with Justin Fields is out of this world. So Justin Fields has to be on this list. Now, looking at his situation, like the New York Jets media, it's not going to be great. His surrounding cast, I mean, you got Breece Hall, which is solid. You got Garrett Wilson, which is okay. They're kind of lacking a wide receiver too. So, I mean, the overall situation isn't great. You got the rookie tight end of Mason Taylor. Let's look on the ADP. Where does ESPN have Mr. Justin Fields? They have him at 126 ADP. They have him as a round 10 pick, which is where we go to my little ranking. Looking at Justin Fields, it's not 126. In fact, crank it up. It's 93. I have him as ADP 9. I am much more aggressive on Justin Fields than the whole rest. Guys, Brock Purdy didn't average 17 points per game. Like, people are high on Purdy, like, okay, but Justin Fields, the upside is through the moon. So, I mean, I'm targeting Justin Fields in Dynasty. I'm targeting Justin Fields in redraft leagues. I mean, really, wherever I can get him, I want my hands on Justin Fields. Pause. Next name, Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams is currently way too low on draft boards. I mean, you got Stephon Diggs doing the pink sand on a boat. I'm not getting, I'm not getting flagged by YouTube for saying what it actually is, but Stephon Diggs, he's got some off-field issues. Not to mention he's coming back from the bad knee injury, right? But Kyle Williams, I'm not going to talk about, he's the best draft pick of all time. Kyle Williams, his prospect profile is so good. Who cares? He's ADP 141, and he has no competition for snaps. Stephon Diggs will be a pest, assuming he doesn't get cut. But besides that, the number 2 is Kayshon Boutte, who he had 2 good weeks at the end of the year with Drake May, but he didn't really show any talent, you know what I'm saying? So I think Kyle Williams is definitely being devalued. Let's go check out where I have him on my draft guide. Kyle, I know, honestly, I probably have him too low. I probably should move him up. And I'm trying to find him, and I see the next guy we're going to be talking about, which is somebody from the Broncos. But in terms of Kyle Williams, let's type it in. Kyle and, oh boy, it's not going to work, is it? I'm looking, I'm not seeing. So honestly, I can't find him on my ranking, but just know, Kyle Williams, I mean, he should be up there in the realm of like close to, I do have him. All right, so I have him at 135, and ESPN has him way lower at 141. It's actually not that bad. So I have him 6 picks different than ESPN currently. I might have to bump him up, but I actually do like the receivers I have going above him. I have Jaden Higgins above him. I have Marquise Brown, Jack Besh, Shaheed, Mooney, Luther Burden, Keon Coleman, Jawan Jennings. So 135 actually seems like a pretty reasonable range for him based on my tier. It's just the fact that ESPN has him at 141, and they have guys like they got some Cedric Tillman going next to him. You got a bunch of quarterbacks that are kind of just kind of dust, like floor type quarterbacks like Jared Goff. You got Tua. I mean, you're not really chasing the upside if you're drafting a quarterback like that instead of a rookie that can kind of be a league winner. Tyjae Spears, Zach Charbonnet, like these are handcuff backs. Tank Bigsby, Bashal Tutin, which actually debatably I do think Tank Bigsby could be a good pick. But I think Kyle Williams is somebody that could be potentially fantasy relevant from year 1, and he's going in round 10, round 11. Pat Bryant is the next name. Pat Bryant, I mean, his ADP on ESPN is kind of similar to where we were just talking about for Kyle Williams. He's 2 spots lower. He's at 143. And the good thing about Pat Bryant, there's not much good. Like his prospect profile isn't great. So that's like, that's a red flag. However, the good news here is that Sean Payton is the coach of the Broncos. His competition is Devon Valet, trash, and Marvin Mims Jr., kind of like a gadget player in my opinion, had a couple good weeks at the end of the year. But this guy right here, he got compared by Sean Payton to Michael Thomas. If we are going to call Pat Bryant Slant Boy 2.0, sign me up. That's the only reason he's here. It's the only reason he's here as a sleeper. The final sleeper pick, and this might get clowned, is none other than Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is ADP 193 on ESPN. This is the second best tight end prospect of all time, behind Brock Bowers, maybe even in front of Brock Bowers. Kyle Pitts, yes, his first couple years were not great. He had a good year, his rookie year, 10.39 points per game, and then every year since then it's been around 7 or 8. Kyle Pitts, he's got a new quarterback with Michael Penix, okay. His yards per route run was 2.2 his first year, that's good. And last year was 1.6, which isn't as good. But Kyle Pitts, the talent is there, and one thing people don't know is that he's actually only 24. Let's not act like, Kyle Pitts had a bad career because he's had 4 bad seasons. This guy's already 27. His career's done. Kyle Pitts is 24 years old. He's young. He's the same age as RJ Harvey. Looking at his final games when Michael Penix was in, he had, it's actually not great. I was hoping it was a little bit better. His final couple of weeks of the season, it wasn't amazing. He had 1 spike week, but he was only on the field for about 40% of snaps. His snap share actually fell down throughout the entire season. The first couple of weeks, he was on the field 80% of the time, and the last couple of weeks, he was only on the field 40% of the time. So I don't really know what was going on there. Hopefully, we get his snap rate to go up in 2025, but I mean, you're wasting nothing. Kyle Pitts at 190 ADP. That is drastically undervaluing the prospect profile of Kyle Pitts. I mean, when you're paying ADP of like 190, you're using a final round pick in your draft. Not to mention the fact that, let's say you take Kyle Pitts at 190. Hopefully you already have a different tight end on your team by then. And if not, you probably are doing something slightly wrong. But there it is, man. Those are all of the sleepers for this video. You got 5 of them listed off. Let me know down below. Who did I miss? Because we'll have them in the next video. Thanks for watching. Smash like and subscribe button. Peace.